Hello, this is Mary Hardy, and I am very, very honored, and I would love to share my information. In 1975, we built a pyramid, and in 1990s, Dean and I started coming to the Dowsers, and the Dowsers have always been wonderful, wonderful to Dean and myself, teaching about the pyramids, about the earth motor, and how to heal this wonderful planet. This is what I would like to talk to you people about today. Okay?
Okay.
So we're gonna share our screen. We're gonna go to our PowerPoint. And can you all see that?
Can you see the Holy Grail Vortex?
Yes.
The Holy Grail Vortex was given to me in 1996 by a group of Templars. The Earth is a motor, and the Holy Grail Vortex activates that motor. Every ancient group on the planet knew how to activate that motor. Basically, people like the Native Americans would dance around a medicine wheel. That medicine wheel would go right down into the earth motor and bring the energy up. We have developed the Holy Grail Vortex. And with the Holy Grail Vortex, we have been able to reduce the effects of tornadoes, hurricanes, and all of the other. In years ago, when I used to travel around, I went to Colorado and I gave a lecture. And some people came to me and said, Mary, I live in Oklahoma and my Oklahoma City is being attacked. And I told them how to take the hurricane, the tornado down. Basically, I asked them to go into the center of their house with their consciousness and create the Holy Grail Vortex. When they did, the next year, they came back to me and said, you saved my house. All the way around that whole block where I live was not totally destroyed where the rest of the neighborhood was. This is the power, and I want to teach you the science today of how we can take down hurricanes, take down tornadoes, and actually lessen the effects of the microwaving of this planet, which is 5G. I'm going to talk to you about the Earth motor. The Earth's core generates 47 trillion watts of electricity every second. This should be taught in every school. Everybody should know this. Tesla knew it, and Tesla developed many, many of his patents by understanding that the Earth is a motor and that tapping into it with an antenna, you can develop many things, save many things, and heal many things. Is it moving? Pyramids are antennas that work off of this motor. For years, when we first put up our pyramid antenna, Kenneth put an aluminum foil on our pyramid. And you know, shortly after we built it, we had Navy intelligence out here. Why? Because it had shut down the Bermuda Triangle and the Great Lakes Triangle. And here you can see the effects of how vortex energy is used through the pyramid. The pyramid generates a vortex. That vortex energy is what dancing Indians create. Now here shows a picture of it. The Great Pyramid was really an orgo generator. A layer of stone, a layer of sand, a layer of stone, a layer of sand. The second time I went to the Great Pyramid in 1990, I went into the Great Pyramid and it was as hot The years before I went, it was cool. Why? Because the fools took the sand out of the layers between the rocks, and that caused the antenna to be now temperature wise. As you see here, the vortex is coming up from the center of the earth, and this is how pyramids act. There are thousands of pyramids all over the planet. We are very, very fortunate to understand this, because I totally believed that during the pandemic, doing the Holy Grail Vortex, we forced the energy of love back into the grid and prevented. In 2020, in March of 2020, they opened up parks all over the world, all over the United States, like Central Park in New York, and they put a morgue in there. They put a morgue thinking they were going to kill our people, were going to die from the pandemic. But the pandemic is really a frequency of 5G, which caused the frequency to clot the blood. And so it was necessary to do the Holy Grail Vortex. And they did not, like in 1919, when they put electricity around the world, you had the Spanish flu, which killed thousands of people. They thought the 5G was going to do the same thing. But us doing the Holy Grail Vortex through the pyramids, I believe, totally prevented that. And it is time that you people learned how this technology works. And that's what I want to share with you today. I feel very, very honored. Many of you have allowed me to stand around a labyrinth, and when I was attending the Dowsers in Vermont, and do the Holy Grail Vortex as a group. We would stand there and bring the energy down from the ionosphere. And I will repeat this many times because it's important to learn. From the point of light within the mind of God, and we bring a vortex down from the ionosphere all the way to the center of the earth. And then from the point of love within the heart of God, we use the heart chakra to create another vortex. And from the center, which is called the race of man, we use our chi area to develop a cup. So you have two standing waves coming down, then you have the cup. From the center, which is called the race of man, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the doors where evil dwells. Now, this is a Tesla tower. And Tesla wanted to tap into this earth motor. And we have a natural grid. Many of you know the ley lines and have worked with the ley lines. Tesla wanted to build this tower. But unfortunately, people like J.P. Morgan said anybody could milk the cow. Anybody could put up an antenna and it would be inexpensive energy. So Tesla developed this, but he never got the funding to finish it. And what Morgan did is he said to the people in New York City, this is an antenna system to communicate with the Germans during the First World War. So they totally destroyed. This is the tower, and you see they totally destroyed the tower. And he never got enough money again to rebuild the tower. Unfortunately, Stonehenge is the main control panel for the grid. And as you see, you can see me, we went there in 2018 because they tried to make an antenna system out of the Olympic Stadium. And I've talked to you about that before. But you can see Gail, myself, and Duncan, and the man standing behind us is the main guard. Now, it was interesting. They kept track of me all the time I was in England, because they knew that I could change the grid with my Holy Grail vortex. And so they kept track of me. And when I walked into Stonehenge, we got a special permit to go there in the morning. When I walked in, the guard that's standing behind me said, "What brings you back to Stonehenge, Mary Hardy?" And Gail looked at the sheet. That man had no way of knowing who I was, except he had been watching us. And when we got in there, because Stonehenge is the main control panel and is a vortex generator and can control the tip and tilt of the earth through the motor, he said, no meditation, no meditation, and followed us around like we were, and Gail was standing there with her hands out, just like this, looking at the sun. And all of a sudden, the rocks began to sing. And he ran clear across Stonehenge, punched her in the arm, and said, "I said no meditation, no meditation." We weren't really meditating, we were just greeting the sun. So it's necessary, it's very necessary for us, if we're going to save this planet from being microwaved by 5G, to learn these techniques. They're very simple. And do a lot of prayer work. Every morning I get up and greet the sun. And when greeting the sun, I listen to my inner self, and I am told what it is necessary for me to do that day to work on doing the Holy Grail vortex. And my friend down in Florida, anytime there's a hurricane, he gets about 20 or 50 to 50 men together, and they do the Holy Grail vortex. Now you take a mild, wide hurricane, a 100-mile wide hurricane, trying to cross Florida. They can take that hurricane, force it down to the base of Florida, down to the Keys, and then allow it to move up the coast. Many, many, many times he has done this, and we have stopped some terrible, terrible destruction. And I say that, it's hard to believe, but when you look at the power of the Earth's motor and can utilize that, you can see that we can actually control this grid. And if we're going to save the planet, we need to control the grid. Now, the reason why I was given the Holy Grail vortex is in the year 2000, you heard of the computer shutdown. What the Illuminati wanted to do was to build their own Tesla Tower in London's harbor. Now, this was the Millennium Dome, and the Millennium Dome was designed as a child's playground, educational center, and museum to teach. But that's no playground. It is a Tesla Tower designed to control the grid. And I don't know what they planned on doing with it, but they wanted to cap the Great Pyramid, send the energy up through the cathedrals and into the Millennium Dome. They would have had to shock the Earth for a millisecond, stop the motor, and that would have caused all the electrical stations on the planet to become inactive. And what we did is we prevented this. So the group that I have created here at the Temple of Saqqara has been working diligently for 45 years or 47 years to counteract exactly what they're doing. And one way for me to teach this information is through the dowsers. And I am very, very happy to have the opportunity to do that. You don't know, it's very hard for people to understand just how important this is. Now, Templars gift to, when they wanted to transfer the energy through the cathedrals. I got the Holy Grail Vortex in 1996. And thank goodness the Templars taught me how to create the vortex. And they asked me to go to a couple dozen churches like Chartres and Amiens. And because I took my 12 Templars into the church, and they actually undid the radio station that was in the church for them to move the energy from the Great Pyramid all the way up after they capped it to the Millennium Dome. They were going to do it through the cathedrals. And I went to many of them from 96, 97, 98, 99, the year 2000. And we put Knights Templars, etheric Knights Templars, in the churches, and that prevented them from sending the energy up to the Millennium Dome. I don't know what they planned on doing with it, but I do not think I would have wanted to live on the planet if they could have controlled the Millennium Dome. And so this is the work that I have been doing for 45 years. And now every morning, as I said, I get up and greet the sun, and I am told what I need to do, how I need to make the planet a safer and better place by doing the Holy Grail Vortex. And I would not want to live on a planet today without the Holy Grail Vortex.
You want to introduce the film?
Yes.
Okay, introduce the film.
Okay. Gail Mack visited me shortly, and she wanted to honor me by giving a lecture on the 45 years of engineering the planet. So I'm going to play a short part of the film. It's not finished, but it's almost finished. And this will be, many of you recognize Gail Mack. She has been traveling with me. We've come to the Dowsers together. And do you want to turn it on?
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I am Gail Mack. I am a reverend in the Sisterhood of the Emerald Fire and a member of the Temple of Saqqara family. Today, I am here to speak about Mary Hardy's 45 plus years of service. In 2021, Marta Thomas and the Global Pyramid Conference bestowed the Amelia B. Edwards Award to Mary for her tireless dedication to protecting free will, healing our planet, and raising consciousness. We, the Sisterhood and the Brotherhood of the Emerald Fire, and the members of the Temple of Saqqara family, thought it would be good to record some of the major events, the shifting of energies, and the healing of both the planet and humanity that Mary has participated in over the years. Mary Hardy has been an inspiration to so many on their spiritual journey. The smaller scale events that take place daily are too numerous to count. Mary Hardy has been an inspiration to so many on their spiritual journey. Those of us who have been blessed to experience these endeavors with her will forever be grateful in the increase of personal resonance, the knowledge, wisdom, and the love we have received throughout the years. Through example, Mary has taught us to listen to the elders of the planet, tune into the ley lines and the natural grid of our precious earth, to spin our heart chakra for healing and to raise our personal frequency. She also taught us how to shift energy and to enhance the vital life force of the planet, using pyramid energy, tachyon energy, and the Holy Grail Vortex. She also taught us how to access our frontal lobes for personal enlightenment and the power and the brilliance of pure essential oils. Let's begin with the books that Mary Hardy has written and co-written. Mary Hardy has published 3 books, as well as several videos and short films. Her first book is Pyramid Energy, The Philosophy of God, The Science of Man, was written in 1987. It is a combination of 3 books. The first is Pyramid Energy Explained. The second is Pyramid Energy and the Second Coming. And the third book is Pyramid Energy, The Philosophy of God, The Science of Man. Mary wrote this as 3 books because she needed to understand the history, the wisdom, and the science surrounding the pyramids. She believes that pyramids were never tombs. They are antennas into the Earth's motor. With this wisdom, mankind could utilize the pyramid energy to balance and fortify life force energy of our planet. Her second book is The Alchemist's Handbook to Homeopathy, published in 1995. For many in the healing arts, the information in this book is like a Bible. Her third book is The Alchemist's Handbook to the Glia Brain and Higher Consciousness, was published in 2015, which includes the reprint of The Alchemist's Handbook to Homeopathy. Both books are in one. Next, a little bit of history, or shall I say, her story. Mary's journey began in 1968, when the Hardy family lost 4 hours of time. During this time, Mary believes that they met with the elders of the planet. The main teacher and elder was John the Beloved, the author of Revelations. Mary was told that her youngest son, John Hardy, needed to change his life force energy if he was to survive on this planet. They were guided to build a pyramid for John before he turned 10 years of age, or he would not or could not stay with them as their son. In 1975, Mary and her husband Dean built their pyramid. This pyramid is as big as a 2-car garage, and it has a base of 24 feet and can hold 40 to 50 people. Kenneth Killick, their friend and teacher, designed Mary's pyramid to scale of the Cheops pyramid. The angles of the Cheops pyramid measure 51 degrees, 51 minutes, 51 seconds, and resonates with the heart. Kenneth designed a unique covering for Mary's pyramid using alternating layers of electric and dielectric materials, which created an orgone generator. The Hardy's pyramid generates an orgone signature that energetically connects to the Earth's core motor. It also connects to other pyramids, vortices, and sacred sites through the natural grid and ley lines of our planet. The orgone energy field that is generated from Mary's pyramid helps to balance the man-made extremely low frequency waves and electromagnetic frequency waves, ELF and EMF. Until recently, Mary really did not understand the full significance of the orgone energy. However, Kenneth Killick knew. He designed Mary's pyramid to generate vital life force energy and resonate the frequency of divine unconditional love from the heart. Around the time that the Hardy's pyramid was being built, the U.S. Navy built an ELF system called Seafair. They used Sawyer Air Force Base in Michigan's Upper Peninsula as its operational headquarters. They built an ELF generator and used the CN Tower in Montreal, Canada, and the Seattle Space Needle in Seattle, Washington, to broadcast extremely low frequencies. This technology was originally designed to prevent submarines from having to surface to communicate during the Cold War. Noticing the harmful effects of the people working around it, the technology was also turned into energy and frequency warfare. These extremely low frequencies created a harmful resonant frequencies that would have negatively affected the life form in the oceans and the water systems of the world. Mary Hardy's pyramid balanced out those abnormalities. For further information on this and other events, check out Mary Hardy's YouTube video, Weather Warfare, public YouTube film. Kenneth Killick taught Mary energy. Through his teachings, she understood how energy moves and the effect of the clockwise, counterclockwise energy patterns, how to counterbalance an abnormal energy pattern and enhance a supportive energy flow as well as the importance of upshoots and downshoot antenna systems. Mary learned and shared her wisdom and knowledge, including how to use crop circles, obelisks, medicine wheels, and labyrinths as antennas and receivers to retune the Earth's energy grid. The indigenous people, Native American Indians, as well as the Knights Templar, have been engineering the planet and balancing the natural Earth grid using medicine wheels and labyrinths for hundreds of years. Here are more of Mary Hardy's accomplishments. While in Egypt, at the Saqqara Pyramid, a message was received that Mother Earth was dying. Mary was inspired to bring awareness for planetary healing, self-healing, and provide tools to raise higher consciousness. She founded the Temple of Saqqara Conference in 1980, now in its 42nd year. Along with the Temple of Saqqara, Mary Hardy has several significant achievements to her credit. One of her greatest gifts is receiving the Holy Grail Vortex and sharing it with humanity. In 1996, while visiting Rennes-le-Château in France, 12 etheric Knights Templar came to Mary. They told her that she had been trained as a Mary in past lives. Marys were trained in the alchemical healing art and with a technique to spin their heart chakra to generate the frequency of unconditional love and human resonance in an emerald green field. This field could reestablish a balanced heart energy on the planet. The Knights Templar of old protect the pyramids and vortex antennas so they cannot be misused on the planet. The Etheric Knights said that Mary's Orgone Pyramid was an antenna system that could help balance the human resonance and the natural grids of the Earth. They asked her permission to use her pyramid's energy. In return for granting her permission, they gave her the Holy Grail Vortex. The Etheric Knights taught Mary the Holy Grail Vortex as an energy tool to bring peace and harmony to the planet and to help raise human consciousness. Mary was guided to incorporate the Great Invocation that was given to the United Nations as a prayer for peace. The Etheric Knights gave the following instructions. On horseback, the lead knight walked his horse counterclockwise in a tight circle. He said this energy vortex was the point of light that brought divine energy down from the heavens and the ionosphere into the earth. This is where she would place her prayer or intention. Three knights on horseback walked their horses in a second counterclockwise circle, 3 feet from the center. They said this energy vortex was the point of love that infused the earth with unconditional love. It also came down from the heavens and the ionosphere. It allowed the elementals, ascended masters, angels, and Elohim to tune the frequency of the prayer or intention for the greatest and highest good. Four knights, also on horseback, created a third circle that rotated clockwise, being 3 feet from the second vortex. They said this energy vortex was the center where the will of God is known. This clockwise direction brought the energy up from the earth and connected with the hearts of all. The clockwise energy vortex, now turning upward, created the cup. The remaining four knights rode their horses in a fourth circle that also rotated clockwise, 3 feet from the third vortex. They said this energy vortex was the center which is called the race of man. This clockwise energy was tuned and sent out along the natural grid and ley lines, wrapping the earth until it came back upon itself at the point of light. The Holy Grail Vortex is a complete antenna system that shifts energy, retunes, and brings balance to issues and circumstances, whether for improving the pollution of the earth and our waters, for personal healing, for loved ones, for local community, or worldwide. Prayers and supportive energy can be sent to areas of crisis and used to diffuse harmful energy and weather patterns. The Holy Grail vortex forms a standing column of wave that reaches up to the ionosphere and down into the center of the Earth. It is similar to that of pyramid energy. When we invoke the Holy Grail vortex, we create a standing column of wave. This pillar of light can activate other pyramid structures, medicine wheels, labyrinths, sacred sites, and vortices around the world through the natural grid and ley lines of the Earth. Our prayer work is always done for the greatest and highest good, with harm to none. You first ask permission from your God source and Mother Earth to place your prayer within the Holy Grail vortex. This simple yet powerful prayer, in essence, creates sacred space and a temple of divine love energy. From 1996 to 1999, with the guidance of the Etheric Knights Templar, Mary traveled to Europe multiple times to retune the resonating chambers of specific cathedrals with the Holy Grail Vortex prayer. When the original bell tower rang, the resonance balanced the pineal glands and retuned the whole countryside. Retuning the cathedrals to their original frequencies helped maintain balance on our planet, lessening the intended effects of Y2K. During one of our trips to Saint Baume in France, we were asked to teach the wisdom of the Marys along with the Cathar Creed and the Holy Grail Vortex. The cave of Saint Baume is where Mary Magdalene taught and lived out her days after the crucifixion. The ancient school and healing center is now an active church. In 2003, Mary founded the Sisterhood of the Emerald Fire, a 501c3 church dedicated to the teachings of Mary Magdalene, Jesus, the Book of Love, and is based on the Cathar Creed. The Sisterhood also teaches the healing power of pure essential oils. Mary Magdalene was most often painted with a jar of essential oils. The Sisterhood was recently expanded to encompass the Sisterhood and the Brotherhood of the Emerald Fire. Over the years, Mary Hardy has had many adventures. In 2006, Mary went to England to meet a man named Duncan, who was the bloodline of Harold and of the Sinclair lineage. He wanted to make a DVD with Mary that would explain how the blocks of Avebury and Stonehenge were moved. To build Stonehenge in Avebury, a resonance generator was built on the whole of Salisbury. Mary's Etheric Knights Templar showed her and Duncan how to bounce the energy back and forth between Merlin's Mound and Silbury Hill, like a slinky toy, in order to generate a resonance field. The energy was bounced back and forth between these two conical pyramids. As the energy built up, it was sent down West Kennet Longbarrow, which is like a Reichian tube, to a generator which is known as the sanctuary. The sanctuary is a grouping of stones intentionally laid out in a circular pattern that forms a generator. It is believed that this generator would send energy down a line to a receiver, which is Woodhenge. Woodhenge is the same circular pattern as the sanctuary. The energy that Mary and Duncan created with the assistance of the Etheric Knights recharged the chalk plains of Salisbury.
Before I continue, would anybody like to ask a question if there's somebody out there?
I'll go ahead and unshare you.
There's an awful lot of history here. Does anybody have a question they'd like to ask?
I would. I'm a keeper of a medicine wheel, a number of 2 medicine wheels. I'm Native American and I'm very interested on the energetics and how they connect.
How they connect?
Yeah, how do
Yes.
they connect to the other?
Well, the first medicine wheel and the great medicine wheel is the medicine wheel at the Little Bighorn. Now, nobody knows who put that there, but its purpose is to pull the energy from under Yellowstone, which is about to explode half the time. And medicine wheels are always put on what we call an upshoot. That means that they bring the energy from below up, and that is a clockwise motion. Now, your Native Americans dance in a clockwise manner around a medicine wheel. That's because it activates that medicine wheel to pull the energy. Now, the first medicine wheel the main medicine wheel is the little big horn medicine wheel. And that medicine wheel was designed to pull the energy out from under Yellowstone and bring it up so that it was like a vent. We don't want Yellowstone to explode. In fact, one morning I got up and Sitting Bull, the Ethric Sitting Bull, was sitting by my fire pit. And I asked him, what do I owe this honor to? And he said, I'm here to protect the sacred lands of Yellowstone. And he had his Native American ghost dancers dancing around. That was pulling the energy up from the obelisk in our yard, up through. Now, we don't want to send it anywhere. We ask where it needs to be sent. Oftentimes, this will act a dormant volcano in Hawaii, because that will act as the vent. The Earth is a maze of grid, and the main control panel for that grid is Stonehenge. So anywhere you ask, you get up in the morning and you ask, what do I need to do? So you get up, and as I said, Sitting Bull was sitting there, and he had his ghost dancers dancing around. And we don't need to direct it. We just need to watch it. You see, this is a planet of free will. And unless we participate in this information, they cannot do anything for us. We have to set it up because it's a planet of free will. Does that answer your question?
No, but I was actually at the Big Morning Medicine Wheel. My ancestor sent me there in 2019 before this happened. I witnessed a ceremony that I wasn't supposed to. I had.
What did she say?
Can you not hear me? I went to the medicine wheel at Bighorn in 2019. I was guided there
You
by.
went to the medicine wheel.
Well, she went to that medicine wheel.
Yes.
You went to that medicine wheel in 2019?
My ancestors guided me there, yes. And
And what was your feeling?
I'm a ceremonial dancer for my people. And I own 2 medicine wheels on my property. And I was curious as to why I was guided here, but there's some connection to that now.
I'm very hard of hearing. What did she say?
It's okay. It's a beautiful experience.
So you actually,
I have 2 medicine wheels myself that my ancestors guided me to build. My first medicine wheel is connected to my people in Canada. So both of their medicine wheels connect to mine, and ceremony is taking place there. The wheels have been
well,
connected.
medicine wheels are vortex generators.
Yeah.
And as I said, medicine wheels are placed on what we call an upshoot. That means it is necessary to do a clockwise vortex around. You never walk the medicine wheel backwards.
No, we always
Right?
clockwise, always clockwise.
You walk it around in a clockwise motion. In fact, the Native Americans dance in a clockwise motion.
Yes.
That is because medicine wheels are placed on acupressure points on the planet that raise the energy from under, like Yellowstone, up. So there is a whole design to this engineering. And I'm very sorry, I'm very hard of hearing. My ears are full of wax. But is there another question anybody wants to ask?
These are the speakers and square things in the roof. There's 2. And the microphone. So you're maybe
Can you go through the
Did
vortex?
we lose audio?
No, we've got you.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, now we can hear you too.
Should I?
Try.
So these are microphones of this square here and that one, so maybe
Okay.
you got close to them, I don't know. Yeah,
Can you go
he's a big square.
vortex again, starting with number 1, and are we moving it up or down or both?
What did it say?
Come to this one.
Move it
It's
up
not
or down.
this big square right here with the green light.
The vortex, does it move up or down?
Vortex move, are we pushing it up or down or both?
Okay, let me explain something to you. When you create a vortex going in a clockwise motion, that goes from the center of the earth up. When you create it in a counterclockwise motion, it goes from the ionosphere down. So when you do the Holy Grail vortex, it has 2 counterclockwise vortexes and 2 clockwise vortexes. Can you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's very, very important if you wish to engineer the planet to understand this. And that is why we have been given the Holy Grail vortex. When we say from the point of light within the mind of God, we create a counterclockwise vortex going from the ionosphere all the way to the center of the earth. Then we say from the center, which is called from the point of love within the heart of God, we create a second vortex going through the heart chakra, being activated by the heart chakra. Now we are putting from the ionosphere all the way to the center of the earth, a heartfelt vortex to bring in heart energy. Then we create a larger clockwise vortex, saying, from the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose. Now we take all that love energy and send it up. Clockwise goes up, counterclockwise goes down. And when you build these generators like an obelisk, a labyrinth, a medicine wheel, they have a direction to them. You always douse out what we call an upshoot for a medicine wheel or a labyrinth. You always douse out now the counter to that is a sword. Swords are obelisks. Does that make sense to you? An obelisk can either be upshoot or downshoot. Basically, an obelisk is a downshoot. Pyramids generate both. They generate inside a counterclockwise vortex. Outside, they generate a clockwise vortex. So this is a way of sending energy and engineering the planet. And it's very important, as I said, when there's a big hurricane coming, my friend Frank in Florida gathers sometimes as many as 200 people, depending on the size, and he generates that vortex, and they actually can move that hurricane to where they put their intention. Can you see they move their intention and they can pull that vortex over to where they put their intention? And several times they have actually, like, there was a 100-mile wide hurricane going right straight across Florida. So these guys got together and they pulled they helped pull the hurricane down to Key West. And then they moved the hurricane up along the East Coast or the West Coast up to Naples. That's
Florida.
Of Florida. And by the time it got to Naples, where they had a medicine wheel, which is an upshoot, it was only a tropical storm. Now, what would have happened if that hurricane would have gone straight across Florida? I wouldn't have wanted to live in Florida ever again. And you see, several times we learned this. We were out here, we had 150 people out to a Temple of Saqqara meeting, and the police came out and said, take cover. We got a tornado coming across the lake. So 8 of us went out and did the Holy Grail Vortex. And in a blink of an eye, that tornado disappeared. Because like cures like. We created a standing wave of the same frequency, and we asked the elders of the planet to do this. To a standing wave that was there, and 2 standing waves of the same frequency annihilated each other. This is engineering the planet. And as I said, I've been doing this for a long time. And honestly, you dowsers have been one of the few places I can teach this information. And I honor you for that. Because, and people ask me, how do you know? Well, you dowsers, all you have to do is bring out your pendulum and ask. And your pendulum will tell you which way to go sometimes. Okay? Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Does anybody have any other questions they want to ask?
On the chat, somebody's asking, what is Frank's name and contact information?
Frank, I don't know, I'd have to ask Frank's name. But if you want to email me at mhardy@allegan.net, I will ask Frank and I will have Frank contact you. Okay? So you email me at mhardy at Allegan is spelled ALLEGAN.net. Any of these questions, please ask. Now, what we have done is this planet is being microwaved by 5G. And it is killing the planet. So what we have done is we've made a lot of little simple YouTube videos, which you people can do. And I'm going to play you a simple YouTube video so that you can tap into these videos on my channel and play them and use them and teach for them.
Sharing screen again.
This is the tree meditation.
This video will guide you through an active meditation to assist in the healing of the planet. Through imagery and intention, we will connect with the tree's communication system. Our focused energy will rapidly spread to the network of the tree roots, interconnected by microscopic fungi. Let's begin by becoming fully present. Take a comfortable standing or seated posture with your bare feet connected with the earth. Close your eyes and take a long, slow, deep breath. Now imagine roots growing from the bottoms of your feet deep into the earth. Now imagine an opening on the top of your head, and then draw a beam of divine light through the top of your head and let it fill your entire being. Move into your heart center and feel the love you have for the planet and all living things. Send your love from your heart through your body and into your feet and then down into the tree root system. We can strengthen this meditation with the use of the Holy Grail Vortex Prayer. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Come back to center. Start by bringing the energy back to your heart from your feet. Close the opening on the top of your head. Take a long, slow, deep breath, and then open your eyes.
Now, I'm going to just say this. After that, after 2020, when they shut down all the airplanes or were stopping some of the admissions, the planet actually began to heal itself. And I believe that by getting hundreds of people to do the Holy Grail Vortex every morning and bringing in the love and activating the grid through consciousness is actually one way we can help this planet. And that's very, very important. Now, as I said, the first two vortexes from the point of light and from the point of love are coming down, and that is a counterclockwise vortex that's sending energy from the ionosphere all the way to the center of the Earth motor. Then after you retune that energy, you send it in clockwise. So the chi energy in your lower chakras from the center, which is called the center where the will of God is known, you make a clockwise energy pattern, and that brings all that love back up through your whole chakra system. From the center, which is called the race of man, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the doors where evil dwells. Now, that poem was given to the United Nations after the Second World War I don't know when it was given to the United Nations, but it was given to the United Nations to bring peace to the planet. And Dag Hammarskjöld, who was the Secretary of State of the United Nations, actually promoted that. And he had a room. When I was a senior in high school, I went to the United Nations, and I went to his room, and I sat in that room, and that poem or that prayer, actually, I could feel the energy. So when the Knights asked me to form the Holy Grail Vortex, they actually told me to use Dag Hammarskjöld's Holy Grail great invocation from the UN. And I believe, as I said, I think this has shut down tornadoes, lessened the effects of hurricanes, and there's proof. Just like the lady who came from me, they said after I taught them that, I said, well, I would go put myself in the middle of the house. Imagine myself. They were still in Denver. Imagine myself in the middle of my house, that house, and create the Holy Grail vortex, and just keep it tuned to there. And they actually came back the next year, 3 of the women, and said, I believe you saved my house. So it's just a matter of playing. The Earth's core generates a huge amount of energy. And we could use that energy with our own standing column or wave, our own vortex from the top of our third eye all the way down to our tailbone and then back up. And as I said, I have been nothing but pleased. And if you want any of this, I don't feel that I want to give Frank's name, but I would be happy to put you in contact with Frank, okay? And give you his telephone number if you wanted it. So you email me at mhardy@allium.net. And if you want any of these videos, Steve, could you give them?
Yeah, just search Mary Hardy on YouTube and she'll pop up.
We
That's
have how
the
many
list.
videos?
Oh, I don't know, 30?
30, 40, 50 videos. And we have been doing this for a long time. So it's very important that we use the Holy Grail Vortex to save this planet. And I think it is a method of saving this planet. Are there any more questions?
Which book would you recommend that would have things that you just talked about?
Which what?
The
Which
book.
books?
So
Oh,
Which one of your books?
this book, what I did with this book was when I rewrote it, the forward in there is the 45 years of pyramid engineering. That was the floor mat. This book right here, Pyramid Energy, The Philosophy of God, The Science of Man. And you never read this book straight through. You ask a question, you open it up, it talks about medicine wheels, it talks about vortexes, it talks about Tesla. And so if you ask a question, just open the book up and you might get an answer, okay?
Okay.
But the forward to the book is what Gail was reading. 45 years of pyramid engineering the planet. And what happened is when we put a beginning of an orgone covering on our pyramid in 1975, it actually shut down the Bermuda Triangle and the Great Lakes Triangle. And then about 6 weeks later, we had 2 men come out and they spent 3 or 4 hours out here. They wanted to go in the pyramid. They were, when we live at a long, half a mile down our road is where these guys parked. And neighbors came by and said, why was the Navy down to your house? And I asked Kenneth and I said, why did the Navy people down to our house? And they said, Mary, when we activated the pyramid, you stopped the electrocution of the oceans by the ELF, by the radio station that they put up at Sawyer Air Force Base.
Wow.
And I just, there's no proof of that, but that's what Kenneth said. And I do believe that we have been protected because they didn't want to interfere with that protection. If the oceans would have been electrocuted in 1975, the planet would be in a very, very sad shape. Okay? Now, I can't prove that, but that's the way I feel. Okay?
Now, are crop circles related to this?
What did she say?
Our
Are
crop
crop
circles,
circles any relation
Are crop circles what?
relation to this.
to what,
Crop
yeah,
circles are a vortex generator. Labyrinths, crop circles, obelisks, pyramids, they're all vortex generators.
okay.
Now,
Mary,
a
we
crop
have
circle
10
goes in
minutes.
what direction? You have to know that. What direction does a crop circle go in?
Oh,
Anybody want to answer that? Clockwise or counterclockwise, people?
Counter.
You have to understand, because what happened is when we first started building obelisks, we made a downshoot obelisk. And we put 5 obelisks out. The one person bought an obelisk and put a downshoot obelisk on an upshoot, shut the whole system down. Okay? Clockwise is upshoot. That's when you, from the center where the will of God is known, you make a clockwise vortex. From the center, which is called the race of man, you make a clockwise vortex. From the point of light within the mind of God, you make a counterclockwise vortex. And they have direction. And it's a vortex generator. And it's very, very important that you understand that. You find if you're Native Americans that they dance clockwise around the medicine wheel. That's because a medicine wheel is designed to pull the energy out from under Yellowstone up through that vortex generator in a clockwise method. If you would put a counterclockwise vortex, you would shut the whole system down. You follow
Mary?
what I'm saying?
yes,
Mary.
okay, thank you.
Mary, can you post your email address for everybody here? And we have about another few minutes.
I have a question.
Well, let me give you my email address first.
Can you post it?
I'll get
Steve
it,
can post it for you maybe on the chat.
I'm getting it.
And also I have a question here that's from somebody online. I want to put it up on the screen. You can see it there. It says, should you use pyramids inside the house for any purpose?
Should you use pyramids what?
Inside the house.
Sure, you can use pyramids inside the house. You can even set a pyramid on your kitchen table. Okay? There's a lot of people that make these little organite pyramids, and they can, if you know what you're doing and if you pray about it and ask the question, is this good or is this bad? You guys are doubters. You have to figure this stuff out yourself. You can always ask, and you can use your pendulum. Okay? Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Mary, when we do the Holy Grail Vortex daily, do we make ourselves the center?
It centers yourself naturally. You are a vortex generator yourself. You have a chakra system. And the first thing you do,
And a Taurus.
what?
And a Taurus.
And yeah, the first thing you do is whenever I want to heal myself, I do the Holy Grail Vortex. But what's important, and this is Gail Mack's spiral breath, when you go into the sense of smell, the TAD lingo, and if anybody wants some of my emails, mhardy@alliant.net, I would be happy to send them some newsletters. TDA lingo uses the sense of smell in the amygdala gland. And when you get into your frontal lobes, you transcend time, space, energy, and matter. And that's how you become the alchemist. Okay? And you have to force yourself into your frontal lobes. And that changes time, space, energy, and matter so you can go anywhere in time. And we have been given through our chakra system. I follow Revelations. And chapter 6 of Revelations is riding the 4 horsemen. When you have the white horse, the red horse, the black horse, and the pale horse. If you go enter your tailbone and go right straight up to your frontal lobes, you can transcend taste, energy, and matter. If you ride the red horse, you put anger in it and everything shuts down. If you ride the black horse, it's fear. And then behold the pale horse, because you can't open up your heart. I love the book of Revelations, and I totally believe Kutumi was my teacher, which is John the Beloved. Does that help you?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
Are there any more questions?
Guess not.
Are we out of time?
We have another 3 minutes, 4 minutes, if you'd like to say anything else, Mary.
Well, I honor and respect you people, and please, if you're going to do, your dowsers, and you always ask, should I do this or should I not? And you trust your dowsing, whether you're going to do something or not. That's the way I feel. It's very important. And if you want to get on my YouTube videos, I would be honored for you. I have tried to set them up so that you can learn how to engineer this planet. If we're going to save the planet, because we're being microwaved, if we're going to save the planet, we need to use this energy. We need to use, like the elders, we need to use the medicine wheels. We need to use the earth motor to heal the planet. That's a lot of power down there. And we can tap into it with the Holy Grail Vortex. And I swear, when we shut everything down in 2020, in March of 2020, I heard that the planet was healing itself. Well, we got to stop the microwaving. And that's what 5G does. It's not good. It's messed up everything on this planet. And there's no sense to it. There's absolutely no sense to it. We don't need 5G. Okay?
Enjoy the meeting.
Thank you very much for listening to me. And I'm very honored to be asked to speak.